When a being of quiet presence enters your life, not with a sound, but with a silent gaze that seems to know the shape of your soul, it is rarely by chance. Throughout my path, a truth has been passed down through a lineage of observation, not in books, but in the quiet understanding of the heart. The teaching is this: certain beings, and cats in particular, move through the world not by sight alone, but by sensing the silent music of our energy, the subtle vibrations we emit that our own minds often fail to perceive. A connection with such a creature is not a transaction for food or shelter. It is a quiet agreement, an energetic resonance, a healing journey that is about to begin. This is a truth that flows like an ancient river through the collective memory of humanity. Cultures born of sand and sun felt this. They saw these creatures as sacred keepers of the passage between life and what lies beyond, protectors of the home, vessels of divine essence. In their homes, the departure of a feline companion was a tear in the fabric of the family, a loss marked by deep reverence and ritual. In lands of rising suns, these beings were known as guardians against unseen shadows, their silent forms believed to hold the power to stand against malevolent forces and to invite currents of good fortune to flow into a dwelling. Across misty islands, they were seen as keepers of secrets, walkers on the liminal threshold that separates our world from the other world, companions to those who understood the deep magic of transformation. This is not mere folklore, it is the echo of a forgotten perception. Yet the core teaching is more intimate. These creatures recognize a resonance from another time. An ancient wisdom tells us that a soul, especially a refined soul within an animal form, carries the memory of its journey through many currents of existence. When a cat is drawn to you with an undeniable pull, it is often a flicker of recognition, a reunion with a spirit you have known before, perhaps when you both wore different forms in a time long since past. When a cat appears in the landscape of your life, uninvited yet persistent, it is answering a call you may not have known you made. It has perceived something in the very architecture of your soul, a space in need of protection, a quiet wound in need of mending, a sleeping energy awaiting its dawn. This recognition transcends our five senses. It happens in the space of pure awareness, that part of ourselves connected to the great ocean of consciousness, the stream of all life. The arrival of such a being often aligns with a great shift in our own journey, a time of deep letting go, a crossroads of decision, or the first steps upon a path of inner inquiry. This timing is no accident. It is a reflection of their attunement to the change in your own energy, a change that signals a readiness for the unique frequency they carry. Imagine a soul adrift in a sea of sorrow. An ancient story from my lineage speaks of a woman whose heart was an empty space after the departure of her partner. At her door, a stray appeared, a silent, unwavering presence. The teaching revealed that this creature was not drawn to the house, but to the energetic void left by grief. It came not to fill the space, but to offer a balancing frequency, a quiet harmony to support the mending of her heart. This small story unfolds countless times, in unseen ways, across the world, a feline presence arriving precisely when a human soul most needs its unique, silent song. My tradition teaches that these creatures are natural conduits of life's healing energy. They have an innate sense of where the flow of life is blocked or dissonant within our own bodies. This healing is a quiet symphony that plays on many levels: the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, making them silent partners in our journey back to wholeness, in ways that our logical minds are only just beginning to grasp. In the physical vessel, their purr is not merely a sound, it is a river of vibration. It is a frequency, a gentle rain that falls upon the compacted soil of our physical tensions, vibrating at a rhythm that promotes the mending of bone, the soothing of muscle, and the regeneration of tissue. This vibration encourages the life within our cells, softens inflammation, and invites the release of healing energies within our own body and theirs. It is a deep, ancient knowing that modern inquiry has only recently begun to hear, affirming that these specific vibrational streams can indeed accelerate healing and restore the strength of our physical foundation. The vibration of a cat's purr, as an old teaching says, brings harmony to the discordant notes within the human body. Its calming rhythm felt most deeply by our nervous system and the glands that regulate our inner sea. They will instinctively seek out and rest against the very places where our life force is dammed or turbulent, using their vibratory song to help restore the natural current. This is why they so often choose to sleep upon our chest, over our heart, or on an area of our body that holds illness or pain. And the therapeutic gift of this vibration extends beyond the physical. Its rhythmic pattern is an invitation for our own mind, our own brain waves, to attune to a more coherent, a more peaceful state. It lowers the storm of stress within our blood and invites the release of endorphins. A simple act that my tradition understands as the harmonization of our entire energetic being. Beyond their song of vibration, their very form interacts with our own field of life force. Their fur, as it is understood, carries a gentle electromagnetic quality, a charge that helps to quiet the static and dissonance that builds up in our energetic field from the pressures of life. This interaction is like a gentle hand smoothing the crumpled silk of our aura, clearing blockages and allowing the river of life to flow freely through its subtle channels. The almost magical ability of these beings to sense this ease in a human has been seen in our modern times, affirming the ancient teaching of their sensitivity. Have you not heard the tales of the companion who curls insistently upon a place on the body, a place the mind does not yet know is in distress, leading to the discovery of a deep imbalance? Or the feline soul in a house of passage, who chooses to sit with those about to embark on their final journey, offering a silent, anchoring presence. From the perspective of this path, the cat is not sensing a physical ailment in the way a machine would. It is feeling the disturbance in the flow, the disharmony in the human's energy. Long before it takes solid form, they do not just love us, they are drawn to work with us, to help mend us on levels our science is only beginning to chart. These creatures are especially attuned to imbalances in what the ancient texts call the unseen body of life, the energetic blueprint that surrounds and flows through our physical form. Disruptions in this field often precede the manifestation of physical illness, allowing a cat to perceive a problem long before our own consciousness is aware of it. An old wisdom explains that a cat chooses its place of rest based on where its healing presence is most needed. The soul of the creature senses where the life force is weak, and it naturally moves to that place to strengthen the current. This explains why a cat will change its preferred sleeping spots when its human companion experiences a shift in health. They are responding, moment by moment, to the changing needs of our energetic landscape. For those walking a path with chronic conditions, the cat's presence is a constant, quiet offering, a gradual restoration of harmonious patterns. Even when both are simply sharing the stillness of a room, it is as if the cat absorbs the discordant energies and transmutes them, a process that can be likened to energetic filtration. It is no surprise, then, that many who live with constant pain or internal struggle report a profound softening of their symptoms after a feline soul joins their journey. This is the fruit of this continuous, silent rebalancing. Beyond the vessel of the body, these creatures serve as guardians of the heart. The teachings suggest that cats are profoundly drawn to souls experiencing the deep waters of grief, the heavy cloak of depression, or the echoes of trauma. They seem to recognize the energetic signature of a broken heart and are compelled to offer their unique form of silent support. An ancient saying puts it thus: cats are drawn to emotional wounds as a moth is to a flame, not to be consumed by them, but to help mend the tears in the delicate fabric of our emotional being. This emotional body, one of the subtle fields that holds the story of our feelings, can become wounded by trauma or prolonged sadness. These wounds create what could be called energetic vacuums, which can drain our vitality if left untended. Recall the story of the widow and the stray. This was not a coincidence, but a spiritual response. The cat, the teaching explains, was drawn to the emptiness in her energy field and was there to offer balance. The animal, it was said, it brings an energy that is complementary to that which is depleted by sorrow, helping to seal the energetic wounds and prevent the life force from leaking away. This insight helps us understand why cats so often appear in our lives following a great loss or during times of emotional turmoil. The energetic disruption created by our pain acts as a beacon, calling to a feline soul sensitive to that particular kind of imbalance. And different cats, my tradition holds, carry different energetic signatures, which is why a specific cat is drawn to a specific person and their unique emotional landscape. Modern ways of knowing have begun to see this truth, noting reduced stress and increased hormones of connection in people who share their lives with animals. Studies speak of lowered risks of heart distress, which researchers link to the calming effects of this companionship. This aligns with the ancient wisdom, but the teaching goes deeper than mere comfort. It suggests that these beings actively help us to process and transmute difficult emotions, like silent, furry alchemists. The purr of a cat, it is said, helps to break up the dense, heavy energy of old sadness, allowing it to be released from the body rather than becoming trapped and manifesting later as physical dis-ease. This emotional rebalancing occurs through a process of vibrational entrainment, the natural tendency of one energy field to align with another, more stable one. When a cat chooses to be with a person in emotional distress, its own steady, balanced energy field acts as a tuning fork, inviting the person's more chaotic emotional state to resonate with a healthier, calmer pattern. Many who share their lives with cats know this instinctively. The simple act of stroking their companion during a moment of distress can bring an almost immediate sense of peace. This is the feeling of that entrainment process. Cats seem to know, without being told, when their chosen human is in difficulty, often appearing to offer comfort at the perfect moment. This is their sensitivity to the subtle shifts in our energy that precede emotional waves. The cat, the teaching says, feels the ripples in our emotional waters, even before they break upon the shores of our conscious mind. This intuitive response is why so many people report that their cat becomes particularly attentive just before they receive difficult news or experience an emotional release. The cat is not reacting to the external event, but to the energetic precursor already present in the person's field. This makes them invaluable emotional guardians for those of us who find it difficult to recognize or give voice to our own inner states. For a soul journeying through depression or anxiety, the constant presence of a cat provides a steady energetic anchor, preventing a further drift into turmoil. The regular presence of a cat, one old master said, provides a stabilizing influence on erratic emotional energies, much like a metronome helps a musician keep a steady rhythm. This stable foundation allows healing to begin organically and from within. And for those who have experienced deep trauma, a cat offers a unique form of healing, one that honors all boundaries. Unlike human interactions that can sometimes feel intrusive, a cat's presence offers comfort without demand, witness without judgment. This non-intrusive healing is a profound gift, especially for a soul whose wounds involve a breach of trust. The ancient wisdom often refers to these beings as messengers, walkers between the worlds. In many teachings, it is understood that cats exist with one paw in our solid, physical reality and one paw in the spiritual dimensions, allowing them to perceive things invisible to our eyes. This dual existence makes them conduits for spiritual guidance. The cat, an old text says, maintains awareness of both seen and unseen realities at all times. Unlike most humans, who only touch these higher realms in deep meditation or sleep, this constant dual perception allows cats to monitor the currents of the unseen world and bring our attention to energies or presences that may be influencing our journey. This role as messenger appears in many ways. You have surely seen it: a cat staring intently into an apparently empty space, or reacting to a movement no one else can see. Rather than dismissing this as a quirk, the teaching invites us to see it as a potential sign of spiritual activity that might be relevant to our own growth. An ancient teaching explains it this way: the sudden alertness of a cat to seeming nothingness is often its response to the arrival of a guide or the activation of a spiritual influence meant to assist the human companion. By simply noting when and where these reactions happen, we may gain insight into the quiet, spiritual processes unfolding in our lives. Beyond simply alerting us, it is believed that cats can sometimes serve as vessels, anchors, through which a spiritual guide can make their influence more tangible. The cat's physical body provides a grounding point through which highly refined spiritual energies can be stepped down to frequencies we can more easily sense and integrate. Many who are unexpectedly chosen by a cat report profound changes in the flow of their life. New perspectives dawn, obstacles that seemed like mountains become small hills, and they find themselves guided toward better paths. According to the lineage, these are not coincidences. They are the result of the subtle energetic shifts that the cat's presence facilitates and the spiritual guidance it helps to channel. A story is told of a woman struggling with a decision that would alter the course of her life. A stray cat appeared and chose her home as its own. Soon after, her dreams became incredibly vivid, filled with clear guidance. The teaching was that the cat served as a conduit for the spiritual help that had been trying to reach her, but could not penetrate the static of her stressed and worried mind. A cat's arrival is rarely random. They often come during times of transition or crisis, precisely when their unique energy and connection to the unseen is needed most. Major life changes create openings in our energy, making us more receptive to both the catalyst of a cat's presence and the guidance that flows through them. Their mysterious behaviors, the staring, the sudden alertness, are from this perspective interactions with energies we do not perceive. Sometimes, a cat is following the movement of our own thought, forms, or the emotional energy we project into a room, making these invisible patterns visible through its reactions. Certain teachings even speak of cats as guardians of what they call energetic gateways, places in a home or on the land where the veil between the worlds is naturally thin. Cats are often drawn to these spots, and by their very presence, they help to regulate the energies that flow through them. This may explain why a cat will insist on sleeping in a particular place, regardless of comfort. It may be tending to an unseen intersection of energies. It is also taught that cats sometimes choose people who are beginning to awaken their own deeper senses, but who are not yet aware of their expanding sensitivity. The cat, in this case, helps to ground and stabilize this new awareness, preventing the disorientation that can come when our perception of reality begins to expand. Many who later develop intuitive gifts report that a cat entered their life shortly before these abilities blossomed, a silent companion for a profound inner shift. This messenger role even extends to our dream state. It is believed a cat's presence can help facilitate meaningful dreams by stabilizing our energy bodies as we sleep, allowing for clear access to the wisdom that comes to us in that state. Many people know this feeling, more vivid, meaningful dreams when their cat sleeps near them, a simple effect of this stabilizing influence. Perhaps the most profound teaching is that of a soul agreement between a human and an animal. It is proposed that before we take on this physical form, souls make promises to one another to aid in each other's journey. Some of these sacred promises are between a human soul and a cat soul, agreements to find each other at a specific time on their shared path. Before entering the river of this life, an old teaching says, souls make pacts with other souls, human and animal alike, to serve as catalysts, companions, and healers for each other at appointed moments. These pre-life agreements create a unique energetic signature, a quiet song that allows the souls to recognize each other when they finally meet in the physical world, even if our conscious mind has forgotten. This is the root of that feeling of instant connection some experience with a particular cat, a feeling that this being was meant for them. The bond comes from a promise made long ago. One story tells of a man who had never liked cats, yet found himself inexplicably and powerfully drawn to one particular stray. The soul agreement between them, the wisdom explained, was made 3 lifetimes before, when that same soul, in a different animal form, guided the man, then a lost child, back to the safety of his village. The current connection serves to awaken a spiritual memory in the man, while providing the cat with an experience of deep trust that it needs for its own journey. The purpose of these soul agreements often unfolds slowly, a flower opening over many seasons. The full meaning of why a cat chose you may not be clear for months or even years, as the new energy patterns they establish gradually weave themselves into the larger tapestry of your life. These contracts can span many lifetimes. The immediate sense of familiarity you feel, a recognition that defies logic, is a knowing at the soul level, a whisper from a shared past. The souls know one another. The teaching states simply, even when the minds do not recall. In some cases, a cat may incarnate specifically to help a person resolve an unfinished spiritual pattern from a shared history. The animal carries an energetic frequency that is familiar to the human soul, helping to unlock memories or complete karmic cycles that are ready for resolution. This is why some cats seem to trigger profound inner shifts in their chosen people. Something in their presence acts as a key, unlocking parts of the psyche that have long been waiting for healing and integration. At times, this agreement can even involve the cat taking on a part of the person's energetic burden. An old master explained that the animal sometimes agrees to process certain energies on behalf of the human, especially when those energies would be too overwhelming for the person to face directly. This selfless aspect of the bond can sometimes manifest as the cat developing illnesses that mirror their human's inner struggles. They are, in a very real way, helping to process these heavy energies through their own small bodies. The recognition between souls with such an ancient contract is instant and absolute. It is a knowing that comes from a place far deeper than reason. This recognition occurs in that space of pure awareness, the part of our mind that remembers the sacred purpose and soul promises that guide our journey, even when the rest of us has forgotten the way.